Hello Virgo, this is your March 15th to March 31st, 2017 read. For the main read, I'm using the Bonfire Tarot again by Gabby Angus West. And for the supportive cards, I'm using the Dusty box, apparently, because I haven't messed with it in a while. Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, yes. I'm surprised that was dusty. Well, my heat's on those, so that's probably why. Okay. It's been sitting there that long. For the love of Pete. Let's get right into it. Okay. Let's get a couple clarifiers out here because it looks like you're kind of moving things in a certain way. Alright, now, your overall energy is for cooperation. I feel like you want to be more behind the scenes. You don't want to be up front as much at the moment. But you need to come forward a little bit to get what you want. The whole reading is about moving things to a place where you're happy. You got victory and prosperity, which means I feel like you want things to go a little bit more stable. I feel like you want to stabilize things. I also feel like by moving forward and taking control of your role, even though you want to be more of a backseat player at the moment, you want to be more of a supportive role, you have to come to the forefront for a little bit here to move things in a different direction. Okay, I'm going to actually put these over here. No, they don't want to go there. So we're going to put them here? No, they want to go here. That's where they should go, but I'm going to put them over there for a minute. Okay, so that's like... That's what's driving you, and I do see that coming your way here. I feel like when this starts out, you're contemplating a change. I feel like you're changing someone else's participation or involvement. I apologize, I know. Okay, I have a headache, so that's why I'm doing this. Let me think. And I apologize, I know some people don't like it when I constantly touch my face. I have like sinus issues, so I'm usually just rubbing my head because I have pain, in case you're wondering. I feel like you're wearing your heart on your sleeve a little bit here. You very much care about the situation, and you want things to go a certain direction. You're seeing things failing. You're seeing the other person not really keeping up as they should. Something isn't right there. You feel like this situation is just going in a bad direction, and you're seeing that you have to get out there and say something. Something has to change. I do feel it weighs on you a bit. It weighs on your heart because you're just kind of like, I feel like you care about this other person. You care about what they think and feel, and you're afraid that when you say something, it's going to upset them. But you're also like, you're also kind of in that boat. Like when I start saying something, I have to follow through and make sure this change happens. Even if it hurts their feelings, it's not helping them or me to let this continue the way it's going. Okay. So I do feel like you get out there and you say what you need to say. I feel like you're really in control here. You got the Magician card for your mental state at this point. And you got a lot of ideas about how to move things in a better direction. I'm kind of getting like, even if it's like removing somebody from the situation altogether. And the reason you're doing that is because it's really not helping. Something's not going right, and their involvement isn't working out the way you need it to, and it may be to remove them from the situation, and you kind of feel bad about it, but something isn't right. Either you feel like they're putting themselves in a position that could really cause problems for other people or themselves, and you're feeling like they need to step out. I'm kind of getting this exit stage left feel here, like you're pulling them out of the situation, or kind of like removing them or taking over their part in some sense. Okay. I feel like your organization skills, it's almost like you have organization skills and maybe they don't, or the way that they're feeling it's organized, you're like seeing all the loopholes and how things are falling through the cracks left and right, and you're just like, it's like trying to carry water in a sieve. You can't carry water in a sieve. It's just going to keep falling out. Like the reason you think it's holding water is because you're putting so much in, but it's still pouring out the bottom relatively quickly. This is kind of how you're viewing it. Like, this isn't working. This really isn't working, and it's going to get worse. You may have concerns about their mental well-being. Like, they're not really in the state of mind to handle the situation, and that's another reason why you're kind of pulling them out of it. And that might be for the best. Okay. It's coming through like there might be, like you're worried about if there's you're worried that there might be a substance issue, a substance abuse issue. And it's one of the reasons you're kind of taking them out of this, because you're feeling like not only could they hurt themselves, but they could hurt someone else. Okay. You do it, because I feel like, especially when I'm feeling that substance thing, it really jars you to move forward, like, you know what, I can't not do this. And I don't feel like you want to be mean, but you actually you're at the resolve that you're like, this has to change, and if it comes across mean, then so be it, but it's worse if I don't say anything. A lot worse will happen if I don't step in and do something. So you're feeling like there's no choice, and you have to get your point across, and if you have to, you will say what you need to say to make things change. Okay. Now, I do feel like the other person, like, hears you, and you move things in the direction that you want. I feel like it goes the way you want it to go. I feel like on their side, I feel like almost like when you call this out, like, I don't feel like they fight you that much. I feel like it gives them some peace, like they needed it to be acknowledged, and now that you've said that, they feel like they can resign from the situation, they can sign out from it, like they can relinquish responsibilities. I almost feel like they're not seeing what's actually happening in their life. They're seeing like that's one less thing they have to worry about at this point. So they're kind of taking it like, that's fine. That's fine. I can deal with one less responsibility. I don't care. But I don't feel like they're realizing what's really happening. Like, there's a problem there. I feel like there's a problem there, and they're just like trying to see the best of it. Like, okay, one less thing I have to worry about. Okay, but there's a problem there. That's the initial reaction. I don't feel like you're going to let that lie, though. I feel like you're going to point out. I feel like during the situation you pointed something out, and afterwards you're going to point it out again if you need to. And you're gonna like push forward. Like, no, really, this isn't good. Just because you have one less responsibility doesn't mean everything's gonna go well. You still have this problem, and it's gonna cause problems in these other areas. Like, I picked this up because I can. You're drowning in other areas too, and you need to change what you're doing. This isn't working. And I feel like you're trying to research what you can do to help them. I'm getting 3 of Wands for you right in the center here. I almost feel like you're researching with them how to change this, or trying to talk with them, or trying to work this out. I feel like you're really concerned. I feel like you really want this to go in a better direction, and you're trying to create new growth in the sense of like moving the situation into a healing aspect, or getting them to do things differently. Keep in mind, it is a general read, so it doesn't have to be a substance abuse issue, but there's something not right, and there's something they don't do well, and you're doing what you can to help them realize or find different organization methods to fix this, to move it in a different direction, to give them more tools of life here where they can use different methods that you use. Or I feel like you're even researching, like, there's different ways to do things. Like, for example, there's a million and one ways out there to lose weight, for example, and you're just trying to help them find a way that will work for them. Like, what is it, like the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, there's Weight Watchers Points, Paul McKenna's I Can Make You Thin with the 4 Golden Rules, which is a completely different way to do things. There's so many different ways to do it, and you're just like, whatever way it takes, just we got to fix this. And you're doing whatever it needs to be doing, you need to be doing. With the substance abuse, it is coming through that it could be something as simple as food, but like it's going to do them in, and you're seeing it, and you're just like, we have to do something now before I lose you. You're just stepping in. I even feel like in some cases, you're doing... Like, you're like, I'll do the same thing, because it wouldn't hurt me to do the same thing. I'll do the same thing with you. I feel like in some cases, not all cases, just some, you're like, you know what, if I have to do it with you, then I'll do it with you. Whatever helps you succeed, you mean that much to me. I do feel like you put that forward in some respect, depending how it fits for you. And you're really, like, making an impact, especially when you're, like, doing the research and helping them research and helping them find different ways and trying to be as helpful. Get down. Hey, no. When you do that, it almost like forces them to be like, you know, like it forces them to really like see it for what it is. I'm not sure if they're just starting to see it or like they can't really run from it as much, especially when you're trying to help them. And this moment when you start researching with them, trying to find different methods, ways, things you can do, that's when this goes that way, so it's going to be over here for you. This card comes into play, which I feel like they start thinking things over. I feel like they have contemplation time. I feel like you start them in a couple directions and things to try to do, and they start researching a little bit. They start contemplating. I feel like on your side, too, once that happens, above that you have Temperance, which you're kind of like, it's going to take some time. I feel like you're still worried that the substance might be an issue, and I feel like when you're looking at this, you're feeling it's going to be a hard trip, and it's going to take a while. And there's going to be, I feel like if there's a substance issue there, you may have convinced them to slow down, but I don't think you convinced them to stop altogether. I also feel like when you did that, they might push it forward to how out of control they might be, because I feel like they might try to slow down and have a hard time doing it, and it might be hard for them to see it until they try to slow down and realize they really are having a hard time doing that. You're in it for the long haul though. You're feeling like this is going to take some organization and time, prep work, prepared for the future. You're prepared for the future. You're preparing. So this is kind of like prep work for you. You're hunkering down for the long haul. You're not expecting this to just be like, okay, do this, good luck. That's not how you're viewing it. You're more like, all right, we've tried this, let's see how far we can go with this. Do we have to change it? Can we keep going with it? Can we make it a little better? Do we have to go a different direction? You're thinking about it in the sense of like, this is going to take a while and it's going to take some work, but we're going to fix it. The last card I have for you is the High Priestess. Now, sometimes she comes through with a motherly energy for me quite strongly, and I feel like right now she is as well. I feel like there's a deep feeling here. You're very deeply connected to the situation, but I feel like we're reiterating, like you're bringing that knowledge. I feel like what I just said for the Temperance is really coming through on this card too. You got the knowledge down here with the book. I feel like there's like a deep emotional connection. The way this blue comes in with the moon down there, it kind of feels like a fish to me. And when I'm thinking of fish, I think water. There's water here, but it makes me really feel like there's deep emotional work going on. Deep emotional work, like you're really trying to help this person. It's like you're right in it there. You're right in it with them, and they know that. And you're getting right into it with them. Like you're committed to this working out. You're committed to helping. I feel like you're also a little kind of like I'm hoping this is going to work out. I'm hoping these things are going to go well. I'm not sure how much of a fight this is going to be, but I'm going to do my best to make this work out and do everything I can. I feel like you're a little optimistic that it's going to be okay, and a little bit worried that it's going to possibly fail or be a lot worse than you think. At this point, I feel like you're kind of feeling like it's a roll of the dice situation. You're trying to see how committed they are. You're feeling right now they're pretty good with it, but you're looking forward to the future and like, is this going to hold up or not? But you're in it either way. But at this point, you've decided you're in it either way, and you keep researching and you're trying to prepare yourself for the future, whether it go good or bad. You're going to make sure if it goes good, it continues to go good. If it goes bad, you're going to do everything you can to move it back to the good, or keep it from getting any worse, and just do your best to move it back up in the good as best you can. Because I feel like you're extremely committed. I feel like you're kind of holding back your concerns a little bit. As long as things are going well, you're trying to be supportive. I feel like you almost question yourself because you're afraid to say things too harshly. You're afraid that if you I feel like you would like to just give pointers on how to do things better for this person, but you're a little nervous about doing that because you're afraid it's like a house of cards. The wrong push in the wrong place and the whole thing could go. So I feel like you're very concerned about what you say, and you're holding back. You're holding back a lot because you're afraid that you say the wrong thing and it could fall like a house of cards. I do feel though that you're trying to still push forth the information through research. You're just trying to be careful. I feel like you're trying to be careful. Like it's weighing on your mind. Like, what should I say? What can I say? It's almost like the conversations are a little because it feels like it's kind of going good at this part. You're kind of concerned that you don't want to cause a backslide. Like you don't want things to go, fall backwards because the other person takes something you say the wrong way. And you're just concerned about it. You're worried, and you're like you'll let the other person say what they want to say, or I feel like there might be a few difficult conversations where they kind of vent on you a little bit, and you just let it happen, and you just kind of move on from it because you just don't feel like they can handle you pushing back at this point. But I feel like it's an emotional, it's painful a little bit. It's an emotional little black eye in a sense. And you're trying to decide how you're going to handle this. I feel like there's a lot of dedication, you have a lot of pride about sticking with somebody and making it work out, and part of you is kind of you kind of feel like part of this is a little abusive, that you're receiving, you're being abused a little bit, but you're kind of trying to decide, how bad is it, and is this going to stop, is this due to the situation? I feel like it's a very difficult situation, I'll be honest with you. And it takes a lot. You might be shelving your emotions a little bit more than you should be. That's the only concern. With the High Priestess in this situation, I almost feel like she could tip a little bit, and she could end up possibly be a little bit overutilized. I feel like at this point you got to be careful not to be subject to abuse. Just because you're trying to help somebody, be careful not to let yourself be abused, because that could cause a whole nother problem for you later on. Yeah. So I feel like this is what the High Priestess is warning about. Stay centered with your own dignity, and just because you're helping somebody and you feel like it's necessary to let them vent doesn't mean you have to take all the abuse. You need to push back a little bit and stand your ground for your own dignity, and because if you give too much, it's going to cause a different problem. They're just going to vent this negative energy in a different way, and it's going to become a different abusive situation rather than the substance, if that's how this is going for you. So make sure that you stay in your power position. I feel like having people either away from the situation or other people who are stable and of sound mind that you trust, you should run by what's happening and talk about it frankly and honestly. I feel like in your case you might have to have people established in your life, or at least people that you feel are very knowledgeable in the situation, and you need to be very candid about what's happening so you don't become abused yourself, because I feel like that's a danger in a lot of this. For a lot of people, this could be a danger. If this is going that route with the substance issue, that behavior, trying to take care of that behavior could bring out a different abusive behavior that they're overcompensating with, and it just could become a situation for you. You need to have somebody you can talk to candidly, frankly, so you can get a good perspective of what you should allow and what you shouldn't allow. Because I feel like there's a danger here that you could end up being more of a emotional punching bag. Okay, I think I'm going to end that there because I think we talked about this from beginning to end. Of course, there might be things you want to rewatch this video in case I went over it too quickly. If you would like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.